Good morning. I hope that you are well and that your family is well. Please God, Hashem should send a refuah shlema and speedily to those who are not well, and it should keep us all safe and healthy. We're about to go into a Shabbos where there's a double Torah portion, Chukas and Balak. The second portion, Balak, speaks about a very dramatic story that happened to the Jews shortly before they were supposed to enter the land of Israel. There was a man called Balak. He was the king of a nation, the nation of Moab. And he was afraid. He was afraid that the Jews were going to attack him. He had seen the miracles of how the Jews had wiped out powerful nations under the leadership of Sichon and Og, who were mighty kings, and he knew that he could not stand up to the Jews should they attack him. Then he realized that to fight the Jews in an ordinary fashion also wasn't going to work. So he hired the services of a man called Balaam, a really malicious, hate-filled individual, and he asked him to curse the Jewish people. Now, there are two very intriguing lessons from the story, both of which are relevant to our circumstances at the moment. The first is that it was all in Balak's head, because Hashem had told the Jewish people very clearly that they may not attack the nation of Moab. So he invented a threat that actually wasn't there. And that prompted him to behave in a way that landed up being bad for him. Bad because it did not succeed, so he remained with the same anxiety. And bad because Balaam then told him prophecies about what would happen to his people in the future and how they would be destroyed. So there's a good lesson in that. We need to, on the one hand, know what are facts and make decisions based on facts, but we have to be careful not to create threats that don't exist in our own minds. In other words, not to drive ourselves crazy. The second thing, which is incredibly interesting, is that Balak, the king, when he sends the message to Balaam, he wants to hire him to curse the Jews. He says, these people have come out of Egypt and they cover the earth. They cover the earth, really? I mean, they just occupied a small area of the desert, which wasn't necessarily anybody's property. What did he mean that they cover the earth? I heard a beautiful insight which says there are two ways to look at the world: the earthy way or the heavenly way. The earthy way says that whatever we see in front of our eyes, that's real. Whatever the scientists predict, that's what has to be. If we're being told right now that there'll be a terrible curve here in South Africa, you got to take it at face value. That's what the scientists say. Now, as Jewish people, we have to be proactive and pragmatic and 100% follow the instructions of the medical fraternity, especially those who care for our community. At the same time, we don't have to believe that they will be right. We cover the earthy perspective. People like Balak don't like that. They're very earthy people. They care about and they live with what is real and tangible. Jews have never done that. Jews have always lived with the miraculous. We've always looked to a solution that nobody else could see coming. So the Balaks, the toxins, the bad energies in the world are weakened when we cover the Ein Haaretz. That's how the Torah calls it, the eye of the earth, the perspective of only seeing what is in front of our faces, only what can be proven. And we remember that as Jewish people, we see what can't be seen. We believe in miracles that nobody else could predict. And please God, like in this parasha, where Balaam turns from being this horrible person to becoming somebody who blesses the Jews, Hashem should turn all of those things that threaten us to become a source of blessing. Have a wonderful Shabbos. Stay safe and stay sane.